Hi everyone, this is Parry. This is my concept pitch for the redesign of Avicii's True album. The DJ, songwriter, and composer of EDM, progressive house, and electro house. House music back in the time was all about positive and uplifting messages to all people, irrespective of their gender, skin color, or race. The house music dance scene has always been one of the most progressive spaces. The main feature of this genre is that it encourages the listeners to release themselves and, in other words, let go of themselves. The subgenre I have chosen, which is the main feature and focus of the album, is progressive house. Progressive is less about the noise and more about the arrangement. It would be best if you gave the feeling that the track is heading somewhere. Good progressive house is simple. If you listen, there is very little going on, but the placement and choice of sound is the key. Twisted Melodic is progressive, explores the beautiful world of sound manipulation. Tim Bergling, known as Avicii, was a talented Swedish DJ, remixer, musician, and songwriter. He was one of the most famous musicians and songwriters of his time. Avicii was one of the first famous musicians of his time. He started showcasing his music skills online when he was only 16, and to some point he was inspired by his older brother, who also happened to be a DJ. Avicii is famous for his electronic dance and house music, and explicitly progressive house music with vocals and remixes on traditional pre-produced songs. Sadly, in 2018, at the age of 28, when Tim was on a break in Oman, he took his life and ended his successful journey. The name Avicii in Buddhism is the lowest level of hell. The name was already taken, so Tim decided on adding an extra I to keep the name. The song Levels, with its own cover, is a definite hit, and Gone Boom, and the cover design is simply beautiful. Elevators that open to cassettes and CD reader, which will take you to other levels if you get in. The album True changed the world. The album revolutionized the entire industry. Avicii introduced the idea of mixing genres into modern music, and apparently singles and tracks are all about he himself, and that's why it is named True. The cover design is simple, and to my eyes, not so sophisticated, irrespective of the fact that the album itself is a very special one with many hit songs, which unleash the true about Avicii. It should have been more sophisticated. The second album, Stories, has a better design, showing Avicii's face full of bright colors, representing the synth and the feeling singles of the album convey to the listeners. The last example is the album that is a tribute to Avicii after his death. The design invites the viewer on a trip from Avicii, the lowest level in hell as it means, to something new and positive. This is my mood board. As I was researching to find a method that could better define what was going on Tim's head, I realized the Dada movement is the closest design to what I had in mind, and that was to show how chaotic Avicii's mind was on his last days of life. Tim was suffering from mental health problems, which was a result of having so many tours and too much pressure, which was apparently his manager's fault. Dadaism was an art movement of the European avant-garde in the early 20th century. collage, cut-up technique, photomontage, painting collage, assemblage, and etc. were techniques developed in this movement. The idea behind the concept I have chosen and the technique is to create a design inspired by Dada movement. I will use acrylics to paint and create a 3D collage and add stitches or any extra element to demonstrate a three-dimensional collage. The idea is to show what was on Avicii's mind and how chaotic it was. Knowing that the album True was composed to show the true side of anything and everything about Timberlake, I believe this technique could actually reveal and unleash that. I'm trying to develop to show how chaotic the singer's mind was. So I have decided on drawing some cassettes and some vans that show represent the tours he has gone to. I'm adding also cassettes to represent the music somehow. I thought of showcasing his face, and by the technique of collage and add 3D collage, I will add features that both are related to the story behind Avicii's death, and also elements that suit the mind map and therefore the genre. This is the mind map showing what I feel about progressive house and how I believe these are. And these are the early experiments I did with acrylics. I tried to show some harsh brushes so I could add to the design to actually demonstrate how chaotic or harsh his feelings were. And these are some details of the design, and also a drawing, a sketch of his face that will be added to the last design. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.